Imagine you finally made it. You secured the corner office, you work in one of those towering glass buildings, and you drive a car you couldn't even pronounce when you bought it. Every Friday night, you park that car right outside the most expensive restaurants in town. You aren't doing it because you love the food. You do it because you love who you become when people look at you. On paper, the picture is flawless. You earn a six-figure salary, you get the promotions, and you rake in the validation on social media. But hidden behind the tailored suits is a constant, low-level panic. You check your bank account balance before every single swipe of your card. You aren't actually wealthy. You've simply built a highly efficient machine for funneling a massive salary directly to your creditors, all to maintain a facade. Then comes a Tuesday morning meeting in a sterile, fluorescent-lit manager's office. There are no warnings, no red flags. Your manager calmly explains that the company is restructuring. Your role is being automated, a word that never sounded dangerous until the exact moment it replaced you. Your absolute survival baseline is $4,800 every month. That covers high rent, car payments, and dozens of subscriptions. You are expensive, not rich. And with $0 coming in, your life's entire structure is incredibly heavy and completely unsupported. The actual financial danger in life rarely comes from losing your job. The danger comes from carrying a fixed lifestyle burn rate so high that losing your income guarantees an immediate catastrophe. The transition out of those high-end corporate spaces into a stripped-down, modest apartment is sharp. It forces a brutal realization. True safety doesn't come from a high salary. Safety is financial agility, your systemic, tested ability to survive without that paycheck. Building that agility requires dismantling the illusion piece by piece. You move into a smaller place. You hand over the car keys. You aggressively cut those status-driven subscriptions. This process feels exactly like personal failure. You have to actively abandon the very markers you spent years accumulating to impress people who aren't paying your bills. Shrinking your footprint requires the psychological death of your ego, but it's the only way to stop bleeding and reclaim control of your cash flow. Within 60 days of this brutal downsizing, the math starts to work. You've successfully reduced your monthly expenses by a clean $2,000. Most people miss the massive leverage hidden in this action. Cutting your overhead is mathematically far more powerful than increasing your gross income. Because of taxes and lifestyle creep, taking home an extra $2,000 a month requires a massive $35,000 pre-tax raise. You can chase that promotion for years, enduring stress, or execute hard cuts to create that exact same breathing room in weeks. You don't need to fight for incremental corporate gains when you can generate the same cash flow by eliminating the cost of looking rich. Now you are operating from a quiet, independent workspace, far removed from the rigid structures of the corner office. You start consulting. You take on small, low-pressure gigs at first and watch them organically scale into better, highly paid projects over time. The reason you succeed isn't because you suddenly became smarter. It's because your dramatically lower baseline completely removes the smell of desperation. You don't urgently need the next check just to survive the month. When you remove the urgent, suffocating need for money, you naturally make far more strategic, long-term decisions about how you earn it. A low burn rate changes the utility of your income. It functions as a strategic tool for accumulating options and leverage, rather than a frantic means of survival. Look back at that luxury car, or that massive apartment. These items are vectors for fragility and constant pressure. Freedom exists in the absolute absence of pressure to project an image to anyone else. So take a hard look at your own math. What is one specific expense you are paying for right now, solely to avoid looking like you're struggling? The very items you buy to project financial fragility.